and welcome back to another episode of Golf at Night. Now, on this episode, we're going to talk about Venice's local legend, Captain Stuart. And he may or may not resemble a specific kind of guy who's from the Caribbean, but he sometimes does dress up as a pirate. So, what Stuart does is he takes his metal detection gear and he goes inside of the ocean to look for missing loot that people lose while they're in the water. He has stated that if he comes across anything that can be harmful to the environment, he immediately picks it up and throws it into the trash where it belongs. So Stuart, just tell us a little bit about why you started doing this. Like, why do you like to do this all the time?
Oh, when I started doing it, it was just a hobby I wanted to get into, start finding gold, silver, some cool treasures. But it soon became a pretty lucrative business, so to say. I mean, after I started doing it, people would run up to me and say, "Hey, I lost my ring. Can you help find it?" And that kind of just started from there. And then I found the ringfinders.com on the internet, and they became part of that. So when somebody loses something, they call me, and I go and try to help them find it.
Awesome.
So that's been mostly what has turned out to be, more than just my hobby. I end up finding more stuff for people and returning their jewelry. Sometimes I get lucky and I get to find stuff on my own. But that's what mostly it's all about, is happy endings and finding people's lost stuff. That's what I get the most pleasure out of doing, helping people. So
Stuart, you've been doing this for quite a while, and obviously you're very familiar with the ocean. What does being so close to the ocean mean to you?
I've been here my whole life, and throughout my life, a couple times I've moved away from the ocean to Indianapolis, to be exact, and there is no ocean there and no water. So to be away from it for any length of time was like a piece of me was lost. And then when I came back home, that's what it was that I've realized was lost, is being close to the ocean. Ain't nothing like being out here, especially with the metal detector at night and nobody out here, and it's not so hot and you're all by yourself, and it's just you, the ocean, and the sharks and the manatees I see quite often out there.
What type of wildlife do you see out there in the ocean at night?
A lot of sharks, especially when I put my headlamp on. If I got my headlamp on, it's cool and it's not, because you got your headlamp on and you can't see anything outside of your light, so it's kind of sketchy, and you're drawing all kinds of fish to you with your light on, but without the light you can't see what's in your scoop, and you can't see anything around you. So I've had a couple brushes with a couple small little sharks that have brushed up against me. And of course, the big, huge manatees I've had come right behind me that scare you a lot too. That's kind of sketchy when you see a shadow like that. But I've seen all kinds of stuff. A lot of seahorses get caught up in the seaweed, and that's pretty cool, seeing all them around. But at nighttime, it's completely different world out there.
What would you say to someone who's maybe trying to help keep the Gulf Coast clean?
Please pick up your trash after yourself. I mean, if you're coming here, especially if you're coming here to visit Florida, and you wouldn't imagine the trash people leave behind. They just bury their cans in the sand, or just take away what you bring. So it really helps. And all of us metal detectors, all of us pick up every single piece of trash that we come across, which is, like I said, 95% trash and 5% treasure. So, I mean, if you're picking it up and you got it in your scoop, you might as well pick it up anyway. And our pockets are always full of beer cans and beer tabs and pool tabs, and I mean, what's the sense? I mean, keep our beaches clean. I find all kinds of stuff. A lot of old coins. Like I said, Venice is known for, the only history we have in Venice is the old military base used to be right here in Venice, and the planes used to shoot 50 cal shells for practice all up and down from Siesta Key to Minnesota Beach, and out in the water. Even 100 years later, you still find the bullets, the 50 cal bullets and the shells. But you find all kinds of cool stuff. I mean, there's just you find lots of, like I said, mostly pull tabs, lots of old crusty quarters, lots of little matchbox cars from kids. I got a bunch of those, but, and then, you know, sometimes you get lucky and you find a ring like I did tonight out in the water. It's probably just a tungsten wedding band, but I find a lot of those once I get home. It might be silver, it could be, it's most likely tungsten, but I've probably got 300 or 400 of these at home. I've tried to find the owners. A lot of them have inscriptions on it, like this lady here said it's mostly a wedding band, a men's wedding band. That's what I find mostly, but yeah, mostly it's trash.
These instruments that you have with us, would you mind telling us a little bit how you use these instruments to find the things you just showed us?
Yeah, this machine right here is a Minelab Excalibur 2, and it's by far the best machine to use in the water. Underwater, it goes all the way down to 200 feet. I've had this one since I first started and have had no problems with it. So I own 3 of them now just for backups, and I also have other machines too, different things for different applications. This one's here is best for the water. And other machines I use is like a Minelab Equinox 800 or 900. That's good for the beach and the wet sand and dry sand. Some detect a little deeper than others. Some pick up things others don't pick up. I find backs to earrings. I find little tiny split shots. This thing here picks up the most minute piece of metal. So I've had lots of success with this machine. And of course you need a scoop. You gotta have one of these if you're in the water or on the beach. This one here is specifically called a stealth scoop, and it's about almost 500 bucks, but to have it, it's guaranteed for a lifetime. So, you know, it's not a very cheap hobby, but it pays for itself.
Sure it does.
The first machine I bought was one that they promised me that would work great in the ocean, and it was $800. I thought that was expensive, right? So when I got down here the first day, it didn't work at all. And a metal detector guy was walking by with one of these, and he saw me struggling with that machine, the Garrett machine, and he said, "This is the one I need." And I was like, "Man, how much is that?" And he said, $2,000. I'm like, "Man, I just spent 800 on this." And he's like, "Yeah, they took you for, you know, they just wanted your money." So I went home that night and bought one of these, and I went right down to Fort Myers Beach the very next day, and I found a gold chain that was worth about $5,000. So if you know anything about Fort Myers Beach, it's a party town. And there was hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people out in the water partying. And you know, you can see me in this get up and looking like a frog with my headphones, and everybody's pointing and laughing, and I'm bobbing and weaving in and out of different parties of people. And I ran into a few people as they were laughing at me, and I'm like, "Ooh, that's a nice signal. I don't know what it is. Let's see what that is." And when I went to pull it up, this big, huge gold chain was draped over my scoop, and everybody was looking at me. I'm like, "Yeah, you all laughing now? Who's laughing now?" So yeah, that was the most awesome thing I've found. I have a few bucket listers. I'm still looking for that Rolex watch and a silver dollar. I want to find a silver dollar. I haven't found that yet. But when you first start out in the hobby, there's nothing like 2 different entities. One is being out here in the sand and in the ocean, but also it's inland, you know, parks, churches, playgrounds, digging in the dirt. That's a whole different experience, and it's a lot of fun because, you know, you never know what you find, and it's just a totally different vibe. If you can go all day long and not find nothing but trash, but as soon as you find a stupid quarter, it's like the best thing ever. It's the best feeling ever. I found a quarter. It's only a quarter, but still, that's the feeling that you get by just being out there, and it makes you strive to want to find more. So,
How about changes in the environment?
it's been a little tough the last few years from all our storms, but it has helped clean it up a little bit the last couple of floods and all the nourishment that they've been doing. So it hasn't been too bad, but you know, there's still a lot more to be done.
Do the storms stir up stuff? Like you find more stuff after her?
Sometimes it either sucks all the sand out and you can find stuff.
Do sea turtles nest out here?
Yes,
Have you seen?
I've seen lots
Out here at night?
lots of them. Yeah. So you want to keep your headlamp off. I keep it off as much as possible. And normally I have a red lamp. So at nighttime, the guys come down here with the four-wheelers to test and watch and see where they're at and kind of mark them. And if you do have your headlamp on, they will ask you to turn it off. So you're not supposed to have lights on because it distracts the turtles. But yeah,
That note.
well, I mean, that's cool, but it's pretty amazing to see them come ashore. And I've witnessed it quite a few times. Yep. One actually scared me as I was out in the water and I had my light off and it swam right next to me and it came ashore and walked up to do its thing. So that was pretty cool, pretty amazing.
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this segment of the Golf at Night. And if you open up the description box, you will see a link to Stuart's Facebook page where you can hire him to help you find your missing treasure. And yeah, later.
See you next time. Bye.
Bye.